Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ridwanullah family. Welcome to a new episode of the Ridwanullah Show. And I'm your host and business maximizer, Hussein Mohamud, working to completely maximize your business in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily, all praise and thanks due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, owner, and sustainer, the one who's worthy of all any associates or intermediaries. And may the peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon the most esteemed leader and most honorable teacher, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions, and those who follow him until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. Just checking the audio and just sharing it. I do have a quick update or a pivot, I should say. So hopefully everything is good in that aspect of it. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Mic check. So it seems like YouTube and Facebook is good. Let me, check Instagram real quick, and then we should be good to go, inshallah. Seems like everything is good so far. Let me just check one more thing, and then we're good to go. I was told I could actually see who's watching on Facebook, but for some reason it normally doesn't show up for me. I'm trying to see if I could at least figure that out, inshallah. I think you might have to be on the video. I mean, you might have to be on the mobile phone, on the mobile app for it to fully show up. I can't see it right now, so hopefully, you know, you guys can leave your comments, and then we'll kind of go from there. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So just I guess before I get into the business news as usual, maybe you guys have already noticed, maybe not, but after some thought and some consideration on a lot of things, I realized that it's best for me to focus on business maximization. So instead of the financial maximization, we're going to be pivoting to focusing on business maximization for a lot of reasons. Obviously, to focus on the entrepreneurs. It's something that's I feel like is genuinely beneficial for me, even though it scares the living what out of me. So that I felt like this is an important part of our lives, and deserves the focus and attention that it requires. And I just felt like business maximization is something that is more aligned with my heart and soul. Obviously, it's something that I'm passionate about, something that I'm scared of, something that I'm trying to figure out and get together myself. So why not focus on business and helping Muslim entrepreneurs level up their businesses and investments, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So any particular questions that you have as I'm trying to maximize my business as well as overall life, I just decided to give it some focus, give it re-strategizing, pivoting, and things like that is a part of business and it's a part of life. And I'm trying to do the best that I can to figure things out and get it together, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So anybody who has any particular business questions, for those who are joining us recently, I decided to pivot from financial maximization to business maximization. It's still within the umbrella of financial maximization, but this is more focused on business. So any particular business maximization questions that I'm trying to figure out how to dedicate this particular show to business maximization, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So I'll be talking about a lot of different aspects of business, business maximization, business news, things of that nature. So if you guys have any particular questions about business maximization, please let me know. Obviously, within the capacity of my business, I'm constantly trying to shift focus to the main things that I am concerned about, and anything else in addition to that, we'll be able to build on from there. So the Ridwanullah show, unless something changes, if it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick. So I'll move on to the next. But if it sticks as I'm hoping to, I'll stick to business maximization, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, and share with you guys, my business maximization journey, along with helping you with your business maximization journey. It's very, very scary. It's very daunting, but business needs to be tackled. You know what I mean, and made the best out of, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. I'll be going over a couple of business news on the business news segment, and unless and until I get questions regarding someone's business maximization journey. This is particularly focused on the Muslim entrepreneurs who are building businesses and investments, or I should say business entrepreneurs and investors. Business entrepreneurs and investors. I meant to say Muslim entrepreneurs and investors, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I realized, some people are sharing the videos now. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khair to those who are sharing them. So I get to watch some of my videos and I realized I'm saying something different than what I normally intend. So in my mind, I'm thinking Muslim entrepreneurs and investors, but in reality, I'm saying business entrepreneur and investors, and I'm trying to say Muslim entrepreneurs and investors. So I'm pretty sure some people could just catch up to that. and get up to date with it. But if not, then it is what it is. If you can't read between the lines, you're going to have a hard time with the show. If you can read between the lines, it'll be a smooth show for you, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So jazakumullahu khair for that. I'm a little bit nervous in pivoting to business maximization, simply because this is my imposter syndrome coming up, but I feel like I don't have, okay, I'll give myself the pass of maybe the knowledge and understanding to a certain degree, but I feel like the results in business is lacking to the level that I would like it to be. And I think, majority, if not all of, a lot of the entrepreneurs and investors feel that way. So, I won't let that stop me. A lot of the information was, some of the entrepreneurs that I learned from and communicate with, get started, and get started before you're ready, right? So if you don't feel ready to go in, obviously ready for it and whatnot, the best thing for you to do is just to jump in and figure it out. So my my passion for business is more on the media and educational side. I'm trying to put my focus, energy, and effort into the non-media, non-educational businesses and investments, and trying to develop those as best as I can, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's been quite the journey for me. So I'm hoping that, some things with you guys as you guys ask your questions and share some things with me, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Any constructive feedback will be greatly appreciated. So I'm hoping that you are either in business or looking forward to starting your own businesses and investments. So, if you're already in business, I'm pretty sure you're dealing with a lot of problems and challenges that business comes up with. If not, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. If so, call into the show and ask any of your specific or general questions that you may have at 801-471-6491. Let's see. I won't bother people on the lives. If you want to leave a comment, I'll let you be. Sometimes you just might want to tune in and just chill, low key. So I won't be calling out any particular names, but you know who you are. I really appreciate you guys showing up. And I want to share with you guys some of the lessons that I've learned in business and investments along with that, and just kind of just develop and help learn and grow along with you guys, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So as we're waiting on some questions, the calls and text messages have been quiet for a little bit, so hopefully there will be some engagements and things like that come along with Mohamud show. That's more of a broader topic that focuses on life maximization, right? More of the deen and self, family and relatives, the career and calling part, will address it there as well. And the ummah and world, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But more specifically on this show, we're going to be focused on businesses and investments on the business maximization, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Ali's given up his hand wave. Jazakallahu khair. Appreciate you logging in, hanging out with me on a busy Monday. Usually Mondays are very busy for me. I'm pretty sure it is the same for you, unless you kind of got your operations and things set up and everything is good. I hope business is good with you, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue through it, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So let's talk about some of the business news. So if you got any business news, whether it's just general or personal, let me know, inshallah. And I'll kind of share with you guys a couple of the business news that I see here on the interwebs. And I hope the sound and everything is good so far, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. The first one is Elon Musk subpoenas Jack Dorsey ahead of Twitter court battle. So I'm pretty sure everybody's aware, that one of the best entrepreneurs in the world, Elon Musk, was trying to buy, Twitter, and it didn't fall through. Multi-billion-dollar deal, and I guess when he backed out of the deal, Twitter sued him for backing out of the deal for about $1 billion in damages and things like that. So, if you if you're playing business at a high level, you're gonna deal with high level consequences as well. $1 billion being sued for $1 billion is kind of wild, obviously to the regular people in business. So that's one of the news that is out there, business news. Ford to eliminate 3,000 jobs in an recession that we're feeling. A lot of businesses, both personal, because of the inflation and the recession and so many other things that are kind of coming at us from a business and personal perspective. We really have to stop operating the way that we were when everything was normal. We really have to figure out how to cut business and personal costs so we can stay afloat, and make it through the tough times, and do the best that we can. And that's something that I'm trying to communicate with myself, as well as professional and personal relations. That's something that I always keep in mind. Cutting costs is something that really has to be a bit more attention to during tough times, and especially in prosperous times. You don't have to be so focused on the expenses as well as the income and the profits. Another news is iconic Shanghai sites go dark as drought hits power supply. I'm not really sure what drought they're talking about, if it's more of a regular drought or like just a power supply drought. So that's, I guess, another thing to kind of keep in mind. Maybe we'll just do one or two more business news. If you guys like this segment, let me know if it's not good or if it's good or not good or somewhere in between. I like to keep up to date with business news. There's Islamic and Muslim business news that we can tap into. I can't think of any websites or places that I can go for Islamic and Muslim business news right now. If you know of any, let me know, inshallah. Thumbs up from Yasin. Jazakallah khair, Yasin. I'm hoping that that's good information, inshallah. And if you guys have any particular business maximization questions, as your business maximizer and coach, I'll try to do the best that I can to help answer any particular questions that you guys may have. Obviously, I'm pivoting and trialing and error with a lot of my business ventures. And plenty of ideas myself, but maybe I'll share with you guys a couple of things. And I have a couple of bullet points in my head right now to kind of share with you guys. But until then, if you have any particular questions, 801-471-6491 is the direct number to the show. Or you could text me as well, and I'll try to do the best that I can to answer. And then last but not least, I'll look at the comment section below, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Business just feels a little bit more natural to me, a little bit more of my habitat compared to financial maximization, even though it's still within the same things. Let me go ahead and change the AirPods. I'm hoping that you guys can still hear me all right. Let's look at some one or two more regular news, and hopefully we can start off with the Islamic or Muslim business news. I guess the next one is Ford will appeal $1.7 billion verdict resulting from fatal crash in Georgia. $1.7 billion verdict. Man, that's got to be some serious stuff. So I guess Unba is saying, hello, brother. Can you see this? Yes, I can. On YouTube. Jazakallah khair for joining. Um, any particular business maximization questions is what this show is designed for. So any particular questions. So I guess, the verdict here, a good lesson for us to take is, whenever you're in business, there's always debts and liabilities that you have to address and keep on top of. So, some businesses are more susceptible to liabilities than other businesses. So depending on the business that you're already in or the business that you're going to choose to be in is going to determine the problems and challenges that you deal with on a regular basis. So, keep that in mind, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But don't let, the potential debts and liabilities of a particular you from going after it. So if it's something that it's going to be beneficial for you, or it's going to is something that you're extraordinarily passionate about that you can't get out of your head, then do the best that you can to take advantage of that business opportunity, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Let me check. I guess a quick Islamic or Muslim business news that I can share with you here is on surprisingly Business Insider, but it's not up-to-date news. It's back from 2021. It says young Muslims are driving the rise of the 2 trillion halal. This is how Muslim entrepreneurs are tapping into the $2 trillion halal economy. So that quote unquote halal economy is something major that obviously we have to keep track of and figure out how to tap into our, whether you're in the quote unquote halal business economy or not. Overall, it should be halal, but if it's not directly, it should be indirectly, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Please forgive me if not. Umba is saying, brother, can I ask you for Islamic advice, not necessarily business advice? I think I may be a kafir, to be honest. I'm not sure if I believe Allah exists. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Yeah, I mean, this is specifically for business. I'd really normally want to keep it that way. Maybe you can go on my personal channel, Hussein Mohamud, where we ask more of the life maximization questions, and the deen is mostly within that. I don't know if you're trolling or if you're serious. I'll take it as serious unless I find out that you're trolling. But if those are the thoughts and feelings that you're having in your head, then this is something serious. I would suggest. I don't know if you have social media, but let's take this privately, and then once I develop some that question is very, very serious. So if that's truly the thoughts that you're feeling and you're not trolling or trying to figure some things out, let me know. Go to either, I don't know, obviously there's no direct messages to Ridwan, the YouTube page, but you could probably go to my Facebook or Instagram, and then send me a message. And then, if it's something that's very, very critical for me to address publicly, I will. but I feel like this is something that needs to be addressed personally. So I would like to ask you a couple of questions, and then hopefully help you with the faith crisis that you're describing right now. I know a lot of us are going through a lot of faith problems and challenges. Nothing as severe as what you're describing, but may Allah subhanahu, and I got to take cautious with the internet stuff as much as I can. So, I would say if it is serious, then as you're describing, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you through your faith crisis, as well as whatever other problems and challenges that you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Having the right aqidah, having the right faith, having the right belief, having the right Islam, Iman, and Ihsan is very, very important in your life, as well as your business. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Um, so, inshallah, hit me up through the direct messages, either on Facebook or Instagram. Just find your way on there. Either type up the business name or my personal name. And these types of questions, you can tune into my personal show, the Hussein Mohamud show, where we talk about life maximization. And this is something that I'll see if I could address publicly. But inshallah, hit me up privately for now, and then we'll go on from there. But depending on where you are in the world as well, where are you actually located? Where are you currently living, and where are you from originally? Let me ask you those questions up front, and that'll help me better determine answers for you, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So as of right now, I'll keep that private, and then we'll see if we can address it publicly. But this is specifically for business questions, so let me know, inshallah. Hopefully, we can get to a place where we have Islamic and business news, and I'll be sharing with you guys up-to-date information about that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Let me check if there's any other Islamic or business news. I guess there's another one that says the 100 most innovative global Muslim startups to watch. That's an extensive list, so maybe I could look into that myself and see what that looks like, inshallah. Yeah, so I knew you were trolling and trying to get, some people to look at you. If that's the kind of person that you are and the kind of time that you want to waste with people, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return that back to you. And, may Allah guide you. I won't entertain your negativity anymore. I could already see that uh, you're trolling. So, I won't be feeding into you anymore. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and block you so you don't do any more of your negativity over here. Actually, I'll just put you in timeout. So if you can act a little bit better, then we'll let you back in. But if you're continuously acting the way that you are, then we'll go ahead and just treat you accordingly. Bidhnillahi ta'ala. I used to get a lot of these Islamophobes on the channel, but it is what it is. I knew they were trying to just. It felt like they were just trying to stir up some negativity and doubt and confusion. One of the things that they were trying to achieve is to cause some shubha, which is doubt and confusion within our deen. So if you are truly a Muslim and you're experiencing some doubts and confusions within your faith, I would highly suggest you connect with your local masjids and Islamic scholars, or at the very least, students of knowledge and du'at, and really get help with your faith, because it's a very, very serious matter. And thank you for the opportunity to share that message and remind myself, and as well as those who are watching as well, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So, I'll put you in timeout if you're acting up again. I have a 3-strike rule now I'll develop. The first time I'll put you in timeout, if you are doing things that are completely out of whack, then I'll automatically delete you and ban you from any of our platforms. But if you made a reasonable mistake, I'll put you in timeout once, twice, and three times. After the third time, you'll be banned completely. So Unba, or whatever your name is, I sense that you were trolling. So timeout. This is something that'll definitely get you banned immediately. But if you keep coming back with that, I'll definitely ban you completely, indefinitely. Um, and that's, the beauty of having these types of platforms. You deal with the good and the bad. So I definitely know how to deal with the bad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from it. And I'll continue to appreciate the good. So I knew by the line of questioning that they had, it kind of reminded me of the previous uh, uh, scammers and spammers, so they I'll just call it a day with that. So it seems like we're just about the 30 minutes, so we'll be working on wrapping up the show, unless some people have any particular questions or concerns, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Let's see. One of the things that one of the, I guess, the last points that I want to leave you guys with regarding business maximization, aside from the making some pivots within your business or with your business, maybe um, you're not in the type of business that you can make a lot of pivots with. Maybe you're in the business where you can make a lot of pivots with. So, look at which business that you're in and which pivots that you need to make with your business. This is talking to those who haven't started a main business yet. A main business, obviously, it could start off as a hustle, but eventually you want to make it your main business. One of the things that I will advise you is take some time to think about the right and best business for you, the right and best business overall, and the right and best business for you specifically. Just because there are right businesses and best businesses out there, business models or ideas that are out there, does not necessarily mean it is the right or best business idea for you. So you really have to consider a lot of things, like what is obviously going to help you hit your financial goals, number one. That's always going to be important. What are your overall financial goals for the long run, or at least, if not forever, at least for the long run? What kind of business is going to help you meet your financial needs? Secondly, what kind of business is going to help you meet your passion needs and wants, right? What are you most passionate about? The other thing is, what kind of business are you really good at, right? You could be passionate about something, but you might not have the skills and the talent and all of these other things that it takes to successfully deliver this business. So that's another thing that you have to consider. Obviously, halal. You have to make sure that you're doing a halal business. Um, the other thing is, is it a business that is going to be growing in the next 10 to 20 years in the foreseeable future, or is this something that's dying out? So, make sure that your business has a growth trajectory. Um, what else? Or, if it doesn't have a growth trajectory and you're going to start a business in that industry or market or niche anyway, make sure you have an exit plan or a transition plan to get into the new wave. So, for example, if you're going to start a trucking business, the prediction is that there's going to be self-driving cars and trucks, or whatever transportation business that you might be in. So if you're using human beings to drive your trucks or cars or whatever, if there's automated cars and trucks and that becomes the new norm, what is your transition into pivoting into a business that has self-driving transportation, right? And is that something that whoever you're doing your customers are, is that something that they're going to be comfortable with having their goods and services in, right? Are they going to be willing to put their values in them? Or if you are a patient or a client facing transportation business, are they going to be feeling comfortable with being in a self-driving vehicle, right? That's something that's long term, maybe 10 to 20 years down the line, that might be the new norm. But, until then, figure out how to, plan and prepare for that. And if you're starting a business like that, then figure out how to, have a contingency plan. So something to consider, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I guess that's kind of the main thing that I had for you guys today. I'll be switching on to the Hussein Mohamud show. So talking about more of, the broader life maximization stuff. Business is within the career and calling, which is the third part of life, right? So business is within life, but life is so much broader and bigger than business, even though we need the business to take care of our lives. But we'll be switching over there. Are there any particular last minute questions regarding business maximization? I'll be more than happy to answer for you guys as well. Whether you're calling, texting, or leaving it in the comments, I'll be more than happy to do that. This is like my forever business, the Ridwanullah Solutions business, as well as the Hussein Mohamud brand. So, hopefully, we'll just keep developing and growing from there, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I got some good friends giving me some good positive feedback. So I really appreciate you guys for that as well. But if there's no other questions or comments or anything along those lines, then I'll kind of wrap it up here. I guess let me just quickly summarize and leave a couple of the I hope you guys can still see me just fine on Instagram. There was a little bit of interruption, so I'm hoping that, give me thumbs up on the platforms if you guys can still hear me all right, inshallah. Just to kind of summarize and wrap up some of the lessons, and the takeaways. We talked about that we're pivoting to business maximization, and within your business or even life, you should always be pivoting to find the right and best focus for you. And I think I feel like business maximization is that focus for me as we move forward. And then we'll try to add on the other components to it, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. The second thing is we talked about some business news. Obviously, the halal industry is something that I realize is a growing industry, as well as some successful Muslim entrepreneurs and investors are taking advantage of that. Elon Musk is with his legal battles with Twitter. There are some liabilities that we should be aware of within our businesses as well, and investments and things of that nature. So always keep that in mind, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Aside from that, just keep working. You know what I mean? Business and life requires a lot of hard and smart work. So keep putting in that work when it doesn't make sense, when it makes sense, when you're succeeding, when you're losing, and anything in between. Keep working and keep putting in that work, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's all I got for you guys for today. I hope that this was useful and valuable for you. Let me know what you guys like, what you don't like, what we can improve, and what we could build on, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's pretty much it. Jazakumullahu khair, Ridwanullah family, for tuning into a new episode of the Ridwanullah Show. And I'm your host and business maximizer, Hussein Mohamud, checking out by saying, never ever give up on completely maximizing your business in this dunya and in the akhirah for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.